Welcome back. Hello everyone, welcome back. Great to see ya. Happy you're here. My name is Becca and I like to talk about things that make me happy, whether that's anime, manga, books, movies, video games, or anything in between. Just things that make me happy. And I hope that they also make you happy too. We're just chilling here, having a good time. That's the vibe. And one of the things that truly makes me happy is Haikyu, the volleyball anime and manga series that follows Hinata Shoyo and the Karasuno volleyball team as they make it to nationals. There is going to be a movie at the end of this month that shows the dumpster battle between Karasuno and Nekoma. This is the first time that you've seen my face of a recap of Haikyu. Part 1 is linked below. You can watch that, catch up, and then come back here and we can continue on with the recap. Just a little thing to go forward, especially if you haven't seen the recap part 1 before, there will be spoilers. So if you've never seen Haikyu, or if you're like, I'm gonna wait to watch Haikyu until it all comes out, movies, everything included, I'm just gonna wait, okay? You can pause this video, watch all of the anime, and then when you get to the movie, you can come back and watch these part 1, part 2, get a little recap, get a little refresher of the anime that you just watched. Just a time to chill and hang out. I think it'd be fun. And just a reminder, if you like this video, you can give it a big old thumbs up. And also, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. And this hangout session that we're having right now can happen on a more regular basis, if you want that to happen. No pressure though. But really, thank you for your support. Yay! Hello everyone, Editing Becca here. In all of that stuff, I didn't know where I was actually gonna stop part 1 and then go to part 2. So I'm gonna do a little recap of where we've been. Karasuno, they just lost their game with Alba Josai. The third years, they've decided to stay on to play some volleyball. And now Karasuno is gonna try again to get to nationals. This is the last time they're gonna be able to do it though, you know, because the third years, this is their last try. So that's where we left off. So let's keep on with this recap. Have a good time. And the best way to train to get to nationals is to go to a summer intensive training camp. So they're all gonna go to this training camp. There's gonna be a couple of exhibition games before, and then they're gonna go to this training camp afterwards. But to get to the exhibition games before, they have to go through exams, and they have to pass their exams in order to get to the game. Otherwise, they're gonna have to do makeup tests before they go to the games, which means they might miss the exhibition game. And that's fine with everybody on the team, except for 4 individuals. Tanaka, Nishinoya, Kageyama, and Hinata are not doing well in school, and they need to get it together, and they need to pass their exam, or they have to do the makeup stuff, and they won't be able to play the exhibition games. And they're not excited for this. They're not excited for this at all. They're gonna need extra help with their exams. So the boys are training for these summer camps, while also the 4 boys are training so that they can, you know, pass their exams. The team is going on a run. Hinata and Kageyama are against each other in this sprint little thing. They obviously take it too far. They sprint and outcompete everyone, and they sprint so far they end up lost. And when they look beside them, they see the captain of the Shiratorizawa team, Ushijima. He runs off to his school. Kageyama and Hinata, they keep up with him. They go to his school. They see that the school is like loaded. There's everything. There's even horses there. Ushijima meets up with them and he's like, listen, your team, Oikawa's team, like, they're not gonna beat me. We are the team that grows because we are nurtured on good soil. A ball ends up flying out of the gym because the Shiratorizawa team is practicing against a college team. That's where Ushijima is on his way. The ball is going out and Ushijima jumps up to get the ball. But so does Hinata. And Hinata flies higher than Ushijima, catches the ball, lands on the ground. Hi, Hinata Shoyo from the Karasuno parking lot. We're gonna beat you and we're gonna go to nationals. And then Kageyama and Hinata run away and Ushijima gives this face, which is scary, but I think he's also pumped. He's like, I won't play that little brat. Let's go. Kyoko's also been doing her work. There's gonna need to be a manager when she leaves for the Karasuno volleyball team, and she's gotta find one to take over her spot. And she finds sweet little Yachi. And Yachi, though hesitant at first, because she doesn't think that she would be a really great manager. She doesn't think that she would be able to help them out. Finds through Hinata and through the team and through Kyoko's encouragement that she would be a good fit for the team, that she wants to support this team and make their dreams come true. And so Yachi comes in, she helps Hinata and Kageyama study for their exams. However, at the end, they do not pass. Tanaka and Nishinoya pass, but Kageyama and Hinata do not pass. So they have to do their makeup tests, and they aren't gonna quite make it for the exhibition games. But Tanaka's like, listen, finish up your work really, really fast, get through all of it, pass it, and I'm gonna get my sister to drive you. The team goes off to the exhibition games. Kageyama and Hinata, they're doing their makeup work, they pass it, they get outside of the school, sitting there, ready to drive them to the games is Psycho Tanaka. And she is a freaking badass. She's a crazy driver. She drives them really fast to the games, gets them there. This is the main character moment for Kageyama and Hinata. Everybody is reminded, oh yes, these are the main characters of this anime. Now remember, at this point, Hinata's got something in the back of his brain brewing. If I open my eyes during the quick attack, I'd be able to direct the spike where I needed it to go. Like that should be a thing, right, Kageyama? I should be able to do that. And Kageyama's like, listen, like we have something going on here. It's good for the team. What we're doing, we don't have time to do that right now. So we're gonna play this game. Don't try to do that. We're trying to win, okay? So don't do that. Just don't do that. We gotta do this for the team. Hinata listens. They keep playing these exhibition games against these teams, but what's going on in Hinata's brain, it doesn't go away. He actually has a little bit of a bathroom drama again. He meets up with this tall, huge player on Nekoma named Lev. He's super big, super huge. He's ready to play this game volleyball. And he kind of like wants to be the star of the show, even though he's a middle. And he tells Hinata that. He's like, listen, you don't have to be the ace position on the team to be the ace. I'm gonna be the ace and I'm in the middle. So you can do that too. And Hinata's like, yeah, I can be the ace, but also in the middle. And so that's also going through Hinata's game as well. He's trying to show up to these games and be the star. When like, Kageyama's like, listen man, teamwork is important. Stop being greedy. Even though maybe that might help their team. They get back from the exhibition games. Kageyama and Hinata are like, listen, we should probably practice a little bit more. So they set up in the gym and they're practicing and Yachi's watching them. And then Hinata goes up for his little spike. Kageyama set him up and he opens his eyes and tries to hit the ball and he misses. And Kageyama's like, stop doing that, Hinata. You don't open your eyes. What did I tell you? Hinata's like, we're practicing. It doesn't really matter. What do you mean? Why can't you just direct the ball at me? And they start fighting. Like actually physically fighting. Yachi's sad and scared. She goes and gets Tanaka. Tanaka breaks them up. But now Kageyama and Hinata, they in a fight. They're separated. They're gonna have their own little tiny training arcs before they go to the summer training camp. Hinata is gonna go off, find old Coach Yukai, and learn a little bit more about spiking, about hitting the ball, about the timing that it needs to take, the different timing, the different things that he needs for hitting. He's gonna learn it with old Coach Yukai. And new Coach Yukai, Coach Yukai that's younger in the hip department, he is a setter in his heart. And he is going to teach Kageyama how to do a serve that makes the ball stop so that Hinata can have that ability to move the ball where he needs it to go. Kageyama is not good at that right away, so it's gonna take practice. So they're both in their training arc, and then they go off to the summer camp. The boys, they show up to the summer training camp arc. There's 4 different high schools that are gonna be on this training camp arc, and a medley of characters that we have already met, some on Nekoma. But this training camp arc is really going to be huge for the development of the Karasuno team. They are gonna get their butts handed to them basically every game. And the punishment for losing a game is that you have to run up a hill or do laps around the gym where you do this dive and then you get up and you dive and then you get up. It's a lot. It's a lot on them. They're exhausted. Tsuki, not having it. He's not having any of this running. He really is just like at his wit's end of this whole volleyball thing. And Kageyama and Hinata, they're not talking really. They're kind of playing. They're being civil. They're being on the team. But Hinata wants to learn how to hit better. He wants to be a better player. And Kageyama is also working on his set so that that can happen. But they're separate, they've separated. Also, in their off time, Karasuno's working on plays to better themselves. These attack plays to have a better offense. We have Tsukishima, who ends up with Akashi, Bokuto, and Kuro in the third gym squad. They invite Suki at first because Suki is good at blocking, and Kuro's like, hey, get in here. We gotta block this guy. We gotta block this guy so he can practice his hitting. And I can't do it by myself, so I need you in here. And Suki's like, I don't want to do it. Like, leave me alone. And Kuro pokes him a little bit and is like, do you even like this game? You're not very good at it, so do you like this game at all? And Suki is like, ha ha ha, whatever, I'm gonna go now. Pokes a little nerve. You poked a little nerve, Kuro, you little. But the thing is, Suki has a little bit of a backstory. Everybody always has a backstory, okay? Everybody always has a backstory. Tsukishima and Yams, they were middle school friends. They became middle school friends together. And Tsukishima actually admired his older brother a lot for being a volleyball star. And he really appreciated how talented his brother was and how enthusiastic his brother was. It was his inspiration to want to start volleyball in the first place. His older brother actually went to Karasuno as well and played on the team to get to nationals. He had the similar enthusiasm that he sees Hinata having. Tsukishima keeps asking his brother, well, can I watch you play? Like, I want to see you play. You're the ace of the team. I want to see you play. You're almost graduating. I want to see you. And his brother's like, no, you'll just mess me up. No. Eventually, Suki does go to one of the games, and he looks at the Karasuno team playing and sees that his brother is not on the team at all. And he looks across to the cheering section and sees his brother actually on the cheering section. And in that instance, first of all, he realizes that his brother lied to him all these years, but he also has this thing inside of him that's like, well, my brother worked so hard and was so good and loved that sport so much, and it broke his heart. What is the point if I do that? I'll be in the same position as him, right? And so Tsukishima is like, why does this even matter? I don't really care about this game. I don't know why everybody puts such hard work into it, because it doesn't matter. Like, there's always going to be another rival. There's always going to be somebody we're going to have to be. Like, what is the point? And finally, his quiet, timid friend Yamaguchi grabs a hold of him. Listen up, bud. It's our pride. That's what's on the line. That's what we fight so hard for, is our pride. Don't you get it? And that is the thing that sets Tsukishima on a path of being like, okay, I'll try it out. Okay, Yams, you got through. I'll try it out. So he goes back to the third gym squad and he starts to learn from Kuro how to block. Hinata also goes to Bokuto, our beautiful Bokuto, and learns some tricks from Bokuto of how to control the play with his spike. And Bokuto is also like, I just taught him some of my tricks and now he's gonna use them in the games against me. Why did I do that? So they continue on with training camp, getting their butts kicked. Daichi overhears that they're gonna have a barbecue at the end of the training camp, which perks up their spirits. Yeah, we're gonna fight for barbecue. This whole training camp as well, Kageyama has been training constantly this one, setting move to stop the ball and to make it drop. That's all he wants, to stop the ball so that Hinata can have the ability to look and see and move the ball where he needs to go. And in these last games, Hinata and Kageyama start to pull off this move. Things that everybody has been working on at this training camp, all of the gears start to move together. Yeah, they're not perfect and they need to continue to work on them, but Karasuno is starting to get a solid team together. And everybody in that gym is starting to notice it, that these guys worked hard and they're starting to make it to the top. Now that the summer camp is over though, it's time for them to have the battle of the meats and to eat the barbecue. After the barbecue, it's time for Karasuno to start their journey to nationals. So the boys are off to these qualifying matches that will get them to the games, decide who goes to nationals or not for their prefecture. Hinata's ready for this tournament. He ends up going to the bathroom and he ends up with some little bathroom drama where he meets the captain of the team that he's about to play. And Hinata's like, I'm on the team that's about to beat you. We are Karasuno High School and we are going to nationals and we are going to win. And the guy's like, okay, well, you're not. Sure, Torizawa is gonna win. So this team that they're about to play, too cool for school kind of thing, except for their former captain. He really likes the game and he wants them to do a really good job and he believes in all of them and has this spirit that Hinata has, this, we can do this, we got this, let's play, let's play, let's play. And this captain means a lot to this team, especially the one dude that met Hinata in the bathroom. the captain shows up and cheers them on and is like, you guys can do this, like, I believe in you. And the guy's like, yeah, we gotta work hard and play hard for this captain. Though it's a little bit too late, Karasuno is better than this team. However, the team does have a new sense of inspiration to go back, practice harder, and try harder in the next tournament. Karasuno is ready. They're gonna face the next team. However, the next team has a very tall obstacle. Name your die. He is 6'7". He is so tall, it is a huge obstacle, and the team heavily relies on his tallness for their success of the game. However, Yudai doesn't actually have that much skill in volleyball, and it starts to show because Karasuno is able to figure out how to get around him. They have the skill, they have the teamwork to back up their skill. They're not just here with their superstar player Hinata and Kageyama that everybody knows about. They have other players on the team that are incredible, and they have the stability as a team to be able to move around this tall player, and they show that. And that actually really hits Yudai. I gotta try harder, and I gotta work harder, and our teammanship has to be more than just me. So that team, though they lose, they got stuff to work on. And now Karasuno, it moves on from these qualifying games, and it is going to the tournament that will decide who goes to nationals. In between them going to this tournament, though, we have a little update from Bokuto's team and the Nekoma team. They're also in their qualifying games to go to nationals. Bokuto's team easily wins that tournament. They're going on to nationals, but there is another spot open for a team to go to nationals. And Nekoma is facing a team that they already kind of have a little bit of a rivalry already with. The other team, you know, they have a couple of dirty tricks up their sleeves that they play. Yako ends up hurting his ankle, which they can't finish the game. But Nekoma, again, like Karasuno, has a foundation. They have a team that they can rely on. They can rely on each other. Like their namesake, they can connect. And that, at the end of the day, is what puts them over this other team, and they win the spot to go to nationals. So Bokuto and Akashi's team and Nekoma, they're going off to nationals. They tell Karasuno it's now time for Karasuno to do their part to get to nationals. Finally, the time for this tournament comes. This is the last possible tournament for the third years to go. This is their last opportunity to get to national. There's no backup anymore, so they are ready. Hinata ends up in some bathroom drama again, comes out of the bathroom, and who should be there? Oikawa and Iwaizumi from Elba Josai. They're talking to Hinata, and then who should show up but Ushijima? And of course, Oikawa and Ushijima, they got some bad blood with each other. They don't really like each other. Shiro Torizawa is the one reason why Oikawa hasn't made it to nationals, so he doesn't like him very much. And then Aone from Date Tech also shows up. So all of these tall people are all mad at each other, and poor little Hinata is in the middle just because he had to go to the bathroom. This tournament is intense. It will decide a lot of different things for a lot of different teams. The first team that Karasuno is gonna play is this. Sorry, I'm not getting it today in terms of the team name. But the captain of the team I know very well. His name is Terashima. Little Terashima, he's a little bit of a shit disturber, and that's fine. He's having a good time. He loves volleyball, and he's good at it. He knows what he's doing. Karasuno is up against this team, and it's a very different team than Karasuno has played before. This team is very much all about the play. They want to have a fun time. They want to goof off, have a good time, and that seems to be a really good thing for their team. They're able to get the points, and it also shocks the other teams. It's a lot of sporadic play, so it's very hard to read the other team, which kind of works in Terashima's team's favor. However, the manager knows that doesn't mean that they're very grounded, and that can only go so far, because the other teams, they start to understand what their play is, and they start to ground themselves, slow down the plays, and make the game their game instead of Terashima's team. And so the manager does snap them out of this and say they're going to win because they're more disciplined than you, and you should be more disciplined. You should take this more seriously. If you like this game, take it seriously. And at the end of the day, Karasuno does win this game. However, Terashima's team really does go away with an understanding that their manager was right, that they should take this a little bit more seriously, that they should practice a couple of the plays that they want to put in and not just run them on game day. They want to continue to play volleyball. Terashima realizes that if he wants to be a good captain, maybe he needs to be more grounded. Maybe he needs to be like the Karasuno captain, Daichi. The next team that Karasuno is going to play is going to be a hard one. They have a tiny giant themselves, Takeru. Takeru loves volleyball. He thinks of himself as a tiny giant. He works hard on his team. He keeps his team grounded. He is the captain, and he has the same amount of desire to go to nationals. Playing this team, it's really evident how much Daichi on their team, their captain, grounds Karasuno. They have their heavy hitters. They have Hinata and Kageyama. They have Tsukishima blocking, but it really is Daichi keeping everybody grounded. And it becomes really evident when Daichi ends up having a collision in the game with Tanaka and doesn't make it to play for the rest of the game. This is a volleyball anime. This is a sports anime. Nobody is going to. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So yes, Daichi ends up colliding with Tanaka's shoulder. It knocks him out a little bit. He revives himself, but he's got a huge bruised cheek. One of his teeth might not be in his mouth anymore. He needs to be seen by the nurse to make sure he doesn't have a concussion. Like, it's very serious. They need to take this very seriously. So that means that Anoshida is gonna need to come on the team. Anoshida, the second year, going to be the person that replaces Daichi. Anoshida, he loves volleyball, but he feels like he kind of gave up on it. When older Coach Yukai came in and tried to train the Karasuno team, he couldn't hack how intense that training was. And he kind of gave up on the team for a little bit. He felt a little bit like a coward. However, with a lot of encouragement from Tanaka and Nishinoya and the rest of the people on the team, and also from his love of volleyball, his genuine love of volleyball, he returned to the team. But he still has this inward struggle that he is not good enough, that he doesn't work hard enough, that he is kind of a little bit of a coward. But in this game, he does prove himself to be the support that the team needs, to be the grounding force that the team needs. And already the second years already look up to him as a leader on the team, and they're even talking about him being the captain of the team next year. And Anoshida, though he doesn't see that right now, that that's his part on the team, he definitely will see that, because this game definitely highlights how strong of a grounding presence Anoshida is on the team. And even after the game, when thankfully Daichi comes back, he's okay, he's ready to play the next game because they win. They end up winning the game, and Anoshida is like, thank God, like, I feel so happy Daichi's here, but then also at the same time I feel like a big coward because I feel like that and I don't like that about myself. Anoshida's gonna work through that. So now Karasuno is going to play Alba Josai. They're back at it, the revenge match between these two teams. I mean, Alba Josai, though, they're not going to be pushed over because Alba Josai already was a very good, strong team together, and they've just increased that as they continue to play. They've also had a player return named Mad Dog, who has a crazy spiking streak. Maybe he's a little bit of a bad boy. He can be kept in line by Oikawa, and Oikawa lets him do his thing, but also, with the dog metaphor, has a short leash on him. He's ready to go. And Oikawa has been working on his serve. It's way more powerful than it was before. Alba Josai is ready, and they've increased their skills, and they've worked on and fine-tuned their teamwork and their game. But so is Karasuno, and they have tricks that they haven't pulled out yet. And Kageyama is more comfortable being the setter. He has his teammates to back him up. He's ready to go. So this game is going to be incredibly rough. And it is. It is a nail biter of a game. At one point in the game, Coach Yukai calls Yamaguchi up to take the pinch serve. But this time is going to be a whole lot different than the other time for Alba Josai. Yamaguchi's been working on this jump float so much. He's more confident in himself, and he makes it. He gets multiple points against Alba Josai with his jump float. And eventually, the point does go back to Alba Josai, and Yamaguchi has to go back, but it only makes him more determined to get even more points the next time. It's a very touching moment. Eventually it becomes to a nail biter, and Oikawa points to Iwaizumi and goes, you are the person, you are my ace, I'm going to pass you the ball, so get ready. Oikawa passes Iwaizumi the ball, Iwaizumi hits it, but Daichi is able to dig it out and sets it back to Kageyama, and Kageyama has got Hinata, but Hinata is ready now. It's not going to be just a quick attack where he just has his eyes closed. He's going to be able to move the ball. They're ready for this. They've practiced this spike. But when Hinata goes to hit the ball, Oikawa knows exactly where it's going and he's getting himself ready. However, the ball flicks the block and misses where Oikawa thought the ball was going to go. And so that is the point. And that is the end of the match, and Karasuno wins. And Oikawa and Alba Josai do not. Oikawa, Iwaizumi, and the rest of the third years, they don't get to go to nationals. And it's incredibly sad. But it is Karasuno that will be playing Shiratorizawa in the final match. After the Alba Josai and Karasuno game, Ushijima and Oikawa have a little run-in together, where Ushijima goes, well, you could have done better. I guess I'm going to nationals and you're not. And it's because of your pride that you're not going to nationals. Oikawa goes, I'll have my little pride, okay? But you should also check your pride as well, because that little guy, Hinata, he is gonna surprise you, so get ready. You're not going to nationals yet, okay? You have to still play Karasuno. Wise up, Ushijima. Your little crazy intense moment, it's great. So Karasuno is going to play Shiratorizawa. The final game, the winner of this game gets to go to nationals. That's how intense this game is. All of the old Yukai team and Coach Yukai and Saiko Tanaka, they're all there ready to cheer. Tsukishima's brother are also in the stands. Everybody's there, but definitely the Shiratorizawa side is full of fans, full of people cheering. Shiratorizawa is a powerhouse. It is incredibly obvious. This is going to be a very hard game for Karasuno to win. We see the characters of Shiratorizawa, Ushijima, obviously top character, top player. And then we have other characters like Goshiki, the little first year that has like, he wants to be the ace, little attitude. And then of course we have the middle blocker, the monster, Tendo. Now Tendo has a backstory of being bullied, which is terrible. But Tendo, he loves volleyball and he's very good at blocking. So good at like reading the blocking and so good at being able to figure it out. However, that comes at a price, I guess, because you're good and I guess you look goofy, so people are gonna call you weird, stupid bullies. They call him a monster. He goes to Shiratorizawa and tells the coach that, and the coach is like, well, I don't care how you play, and I don't care what you're perceived as long as you win. Just win and we'll be fine. So now he's at Shiratorizawa. The coach of Shiratorizawa is a piece of work. He's a short little guy and was told when he was young that short players have no business in volleyball. So he's taken that to coaching his team. That if you're tall, you're gonna be on his team, and that you have to work for that still if you're small, but he doesn't even acknowledge Hinata's talent. Like, he thinks it's a fluke. He doesn't like it. So the game begins, and obviously Ushijima is strong. Noya is trying his hardest. He's really getting a lot of the receives. Also, Suki knows that he needs to step up for this game. He's asked Coach Yukai how he can block Ushijima. How can I do this? Because I know I need to do this. So tell me how I need to do this. Which makes Coach Yukai cry a little bit because he's like, oh my god, you're asking me for help, Tsukishima? I love this. He's ready to block Ushijima. And that's exactly what he does. He blocks Ushijima, and this is the moment where Tsukishima learns to love volleyball. This is the moment he can grab onto that he loves it, and he's gonna keep moving forward with it. It's a big moment for Tsukishima, big development. Ushijima is a little shaken after that, but he's still gonna hit the ball, and they're still gonna have to battle, Karasuno and him. All of the team is gonna have to step up for this. All of their hard work. And after all of that, after the huge battle, Karasuno wins. They're going to nationals. And now the team, Karasuno, they're off to nationals. It's time to go. But you know what would be really great right now in Karasuno's little break time? Is to have a training camp arc. Another training camp arc. Let's do it. So 2 players are going to actually be chosen to go to different types of training camps. The first player that's going to be chosen is Kageyama. He is going to the under 18 national boys volleyball training camp for the under 18 national team. Another training camp is going to be happening in the prefecture they're in. And who's going to go to that training camp? Tsukishima. It's at Shiratorizawa. It's run by the coach that thinks only top players can play volleyball. So of course Hinata's not invited. But Hinata is not having it. Why wasn't I invited to any of these training camps? Obviously, I need to be invited. I need to go. And that's exactly what Hinata's gonna do. He's going to show up at the Shiratorizawa training camp, not invited, and just expect to be a part of the camp, which isn't gonna happen. The coach of the Shiratorizawa team is gonna tell Hinata, listen, you're here, that's fine, whatever, but you're not being a part of the camp. You can be the ball boy or you can go home. That's it. So Hinata does. He's like, fine, I will be here and I'm gonna be the ball boy. And this starts the ball boy arc of Hinata Shoyo, where he goes the entire week not practicing, not playing volleyball, but observing the other people, observing the people around him train and gaining new skills by observing. He also learns the rhythm of spikes when he tries to catch the ball. So he's learning how to be in the right positions for receiving the ball. Some defensive techniques he's learning, not just his offensive techniques, what he learned at the other summer training camp, but the defensive side of volleyball too, he's beginning to learn. Kageyama is at his under 18 volleyball training camp. The best of the best are at this training camp. We get to meet some players that we will see at nationals. We get to meet Sakuza and Atsumu, and also Kageyama has a little bit of thinking to do when he goes to this training camp. Asumu says that Kageyama is a little bit of a goody two-shoes, that he's very concerned about the other players on the team and that holds him back from being a good setter because he's too much of a concerned about what the other players are thinking. He doesn't really own the setting position himself and tells the players what he thinks is the best move for the team. And that kind of rubs Kageyama the wrong way. Tsugashima and Kageyama and even little ball boy Hinata come back from their week training camps, and Takeda and Coach Yukai have organized a game with Date Tech, a little exhibition game to get the boys fresh up for nationals. So they play the game with Date Tech, and Kageyama is getting a little bit snippy with everybody on the court. And the whole team starts to look at him. And Kageyama gets a little bit worried. He goes, oh no, I don't want to go back to being the king of the court. And so then Hinata goes up to Kageyama and puts a little towel crown on him. And then Hinata makes a really good point to the whole team. Why don't we let Kageyama be the king of the court? He has the strategy and the understanding. We're going to put this crown on his head, but we are going to put it on his head. He is not going to put it on his head. And when he gets too much, we should be able to communicate to him that he's not talking well. If he wants something, that's fine. He's the king, but he needs to talk to us better. And that's what the team says. They're like, listen, Kageyama, you're great, but you just need to communicate with us what you want, and in a nice way, because we are a team. Just be respectful. And so Kageyama, he learns how to communicate better. And Kageyama is now starting to learn that that's how he can be an effective setter on the team. They end up winning their exhibitions against Date Tech, and Date Tech wishes them luck. The boys are now off officially to nationals. They're going to Tokyo. They get to nationals and it's a lot of people. Even with the amount of people that were in those stands before, this is a huge arena they're in. There's so much more going on in this arena. It's overwhelming. The Karasuno team does meet their old friends Akashi and Bokuto and Nekoma. Kageyama meets up with Asumu and all of the other players that they've met and they wanted to be at nationals with. They're here. This is their time to shine. The next day, they're gonna start their games. They started warming up at a local gym to get ready, to get the boys ready for the game. However, upon leaving, Hinata forgets his volleyball shoes at the gym. And this is where Kyoko shines. She says, I'm gonna go get those shoes before the game begins. You just watch. She goes, runs to get the shoes. We had this whole backstory of her being really into track in middle school, however, letting it go when she went into high school and not really knowing what to be involved with, and how being a part of the volleyball team has really helped her grow into her own, and that she can do this for them and make an impact for their team. She gets the shoes, she brings them back, she throws them down, and she goes, okay guys, it's up to you now. It's time for their first game. The first game begins, and it's very obvious that everybody at Nationals wants to be there, has fought really hard to be there. So it's not going to be a walk in the park. The Karasuno boys are going to have to show up and they're going to have to try to play to win. Now Kageyama is having a little bit of a hard time figuring out setting because of the high ceilings, lights and everything. So he's going to need a couple of minutes to figure himself out. Daichi and the rest of the team, they're like, okay, let's get ourselves ready for this. Now the other team is good, but one of the things that they have is they have a pinch server that does an underhand serve. Now some of you might be like, what? Underhand serve? Aren't they always doing like the overhand serve? The underhand serve is like the doot. Well, this guy has an underhand serve, and his underhand serve is kind of a little bit crazy. He shoots it up really high in the air so that it distracts everybody. Like, they're like disassociating. They're like, where is the ball? I don't know where it is. And then it ends up on the ground. So they keep doing that over and over, but eventually Karasuno is able to get it under control. Also, Kageyama, all his chakras, balance, or whatever he's trying to do to get into the game, he's able to set properly. Karasuno is able to get under the game, and they're able to pull off a win. Her first win in nationals. And so then they'll be up against Atsumu's team, really Kita's team. They have a very strong team, and they are well grounded with their captain, Kita. Now Kita, he's worked very hard to be on this team. He's put his whole effort into practicing, into doing extra stuff for the team as well, cleaning the locker room, making sure everybody is good to go, practicing really hard, and he has earned his spot as the captain of the team. The team is very well grounded. He is very much like Daichi, very calm, keeps the team grounded, keeps the team under control, really controls the twins, who sometimes can get very out of control. Karasuno also finds out that Inazaki has a huge cheering section. They are overwhelming, super loud, have a whole freaking band in the stand. They get our school fight song go off. It's a lot in the arena already with so many fans. Atsumu and Osamu have a very similar bond, like Kageyama and Hinata, where obviously they're twins, so they know each other very well. Atsumu and Osamu have a very similar quick attack to Hinata and Kageyama. And also, Osamu can set for Atsumu and Eren and other people on the team. They can interchange. They're very good. They love volleyball. They love it a lot. Atsumu also has a very strong serving game. He can do the overhand really high jump serve, but also a jump float as well. But he does need the crowd to be silent when he does that. And if you interrupt his little serving, he will be upset and mad at you. We're gonna take a pause at this game though and catch up with Nekoma. Nekoma is having a little bit of a hard time. The other team's coach realizes that if he moves Kenma out of his little spot and makes him move, he's gonna tire him out and he's not gonna be as effective. However, the other team doesn't realize that Kenma is super stubborn and he's not going to give up that easily. And so he will dig his heels in and he will move and he will be exhausted, but he's gonna make sure his team wins. And at the end of the day, his team trusts in him and he succeeds. And so they win their game. Whoever wins in the Karasuno versus Inazaki game, whoever wins that game, they're going to be playing Nekoma next. So Nekoma's excited for what that game's outcome is going to be. Now we're back in Inazaki, Karasuno. Karasuno's got to dig in. The game is incredibly intense. This is what nationals are all about. Two teams that have dedicated themselves to the sport, stepping up and playing. Both teams want it so bad, and it's going to come down to basically who is able to get that last point. I say some of the biggest moments to come out of this game are, of course, from the main character himself, Hinata Shoyo. One of the first big moments that happens in this game is that Atsumu completely fakes out the team, the blocker team, and they think he's gonna set it to Osamu, but he sets it to Eren, and they are completely left wide open. Except they're not. Hinata is there to receive the ball, and he receives it massively. The crowd goes wild. Hinata has saved the ball. He has saved the point for them. And it's also a huge thing for Hinata because he wasn't very good at receiving. And then here he is doing the receiving job. He's doing amazing. Shocks the whole team. Everybody is cheering him on. Now they continue to play and Karasuno begins to lose control of the pace of the game. Coach Yukai begins to yell at them to slow the ball down, to slow the plays down. They're going to get sucked in. They're going to get exhausted more because the other team is increasing the pace of the game. They're going to screw up a little bit more. And then Hinata pulls out his moment again and he gets the ball, receives it, and hits it up really, really high. He has seen this play before from an Elba Josai character. He does this a lot when he's getting exhausted. He puts the ball up really high to the setter so that he can slow down the game and regain his footing. And that's exactly what Hinata is doing for his teammates. They all get to take a break, they all get to take a breather, and Hinata has saved this point as well for them. A huge, huge moment for Hinata and his learning. The game continues with his intensity. The players on both teams are fighting tooth and nail to see who wins. And then Atsumu trusts Osamu completely. And Atsumu tends to rely on Osamu getting that point. And when the cards are on the table and the intensity is at its highest, the last possible move to do, Atsumu relies on Osamu to do their little move, the little quick that they do. But unfortunately, Hinata and Kageyama, they've already been there. The Alba Josai game, they did a similar thing and were blocked. And that's how they lost their very first time against Alba Josai. And so who should be there to be blocking Atsumu and Osamu's quick? It's Hinata and Kageyama. And they're able to block the ball, push it to the back of the court, and Karasuno wins the game. Karasuno is moving on to play Nekoma, the game that everybody has been anticipating, and the game that is gonna be in the movie. We're caught up. It's time for the dumpster battle. I'm so excited for this. It felt like a journey being able to talk to you about this. It actually was. It took me basically all day to do this after like charging my camera and everything every once in a while. But honestly, I'm so excited for this. It's going to be an intense game. It's going to be a game with lots of heart. So I'm very excited to see it. And hopefully, if you've never seen Haikyu before, maybe this has piqued your interest to watch it. Thank you so much for listening to this recap. If you have a favorite moment from Haikyu, please let me know in the comments what it was. I would really like to know. And also, if you are excited for this movie, please also let me know. I will do a review of the movie when it comes out because I do already have some thoughts of brewing. Get ready for that content when it comes out. But for now, I might go watch some more Haikyu to get pumped. Karasuno!